Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Firefighters Podcast, where we seek to develop, inspire, and motivate the world of the emergency services operator through a series of wide-ranging conversations. Now, before we go any further, just hit that rate, follow, or subscribe button on whatever platform you're listening to. It's a key performance indicator for us and helps us reach even more people. Now, here's what we've got for you today. How we doing, fellas?
It's wet.
It's wet. Mark, who's ordered the rain, brother? What's going on?
That had nothing to do with me, but I knew it was coming. I've played this game before, so yeah. Waterproofs and sun cream.
Sun cream, ready for it.
We're in Wales, aren't we? So
James, we're in beautiful Wales. We're getting set up at the, I've tried to pronounce it several times,
The Scarlet Stadium is what we're going
Parkula Scala.
That's what we're going for.
Bloody beautiful, right?
It's nice, isn't it?
Epic. It's a massive site.
It's a great venue as well.
It is a great venue.
We played Street Scrabble on the way down here.
Did you?
We ran out of L's within 10 minutes.
So we've got a set up. Mark, looking at the course that we've got laid out at the minute, where do you think the big gains are going to be today? I know we've got a bit of a sprint start for it, but I'm looking at them hydraulics, and I'm thinking they might get a bit of a kick in this afternoon, to be honest with you.
I'm kind of thinking that the hydraulics, though, is going to give you, hopefully, a bit of a rest between that sprint at the start, bit of recovery in your legs before you go. So I think there's going to be gains all over the course. The sprint, because it's wet, it's going to slide you, though the hose drag is going to be a little bit easier, hopefully.
And dummies are going to be heavy, though.
The dummies are going to be heavy, yeah.
Really heavy.
Yeah,
I'm seeing them heavily saturated as we stand here now, and it's only going to get wetter and wetter as we continue down the day.
Talking another 5 kilos, I reckon. On top of
Easy.
Yeah.
I think that 50-metre run, James, is going to kick my ass, to be honest with you, because for those, I mean, you boys have got a good 4 or 5 stone less on you. That sprint start, you see so many people when they're doing the challenges, though, kind of jogging in between things. You know, when you always see them run back, I always used to say this to John, because like John Gregory is a hell of an athlete, but he always would jog from the barrels back to get the dummy or whatever, and people are like, oh, that's your recovery. I'm like, dude, it's 3 minutes. Don't try and build a recovery, for me personally, into 3 minutes. Where do you think do people need to come straight out with a sprint?
I think it can be won or lost in the sprint. If you get a good start.
Do you think anyone's going to stack it?
I'm hoping Rob Clark from Cheshire stacks it.
Previous.
For those of you that don't know, Rob was the only person to fall at the BFC last year. So
I have genuine concern about, I don't want anybody stacking it on the force machine. So I've seen people jump onto the force machine and slip straight off the other side. So that's going to make me like super nervous. I'll be slow going into that bit. It's just that literal 2-step transition when you get onto it. I don't want to send one foot going.
Things like the hose drag, that's going to be easier because you're going to have less friction on the foot. So it's a quick course anyway. It's who's got the cojones to go all out.
Good morning, it's Chris Rees, Western Divisional Commander from Mid and West Wales Fire Service.
When we first started thinking about putting this, when Dom first came to you and the Chief and everybody else about it, what was your thoughts? Why are we doing something like this? Why is it important?
For us, it's being a first in Wales is always a nice achievement.
Hell yeah.
That's good. And we're very professionally competitive with North Wales and South Wales Fire and Rescue, our colleagues and friends, but we're one step ahead on this occasion. So
professional competition's a good thing, though.
It is.
I think when we think of competition, sometimes people vilify the word and we have negative connotations to it. But there's something about healthy competition where we want to encourage the best aspects of each other, because we always want to improve. We want a bit of personal, professional development. We want to get quicker, stronger, faster, better service to the community. So it's good, right? You know?
Yeah, definitely. And that's what today's all about, really, isn't it? It's pushing ourselves physically, mentally. And for us, it's about all the competitors taking part. We're one.
Yeah.
And that's not some cheesy strapline.
No,
that's really, yes, winning is important, but we want everyone to complete, do their best, and we're all going to be cheering everyone along.
That's where the Firefighter Challenges have really been a unique thing for me, is that, and that's why I love so much hosting them, because you get an opportunity to give that person that bit in their spotlight. And what I mean by that is, with the fire service, and you'll know this far better than me, how many times have your missus or your husband or your partner said, oh, you know, I kind of understand what you do at work, but they never see the people you work with. They never see the community. When you come to something like this, you actually get to say, oh, so that's Sarah who you work with, or that's John, or that's so-and-so, and they see your firefighting family, and that's kind of what we've got to do. We've got recruits, we've got families, we've got people that can come and see the people do what they do best.
You're absolutely right. It's a family, and we promote that aspect. There's a lot of commitment given, especially with our on-call friends. That's a huge impact on the family. So you're quite right. They're not going to.
What's the balance for the on-call sector here?
We're about 65-70% in Mid and West Wales.
Really?
We're a huge landmass area, so it's very difficult to have that level of coverage. Yes, in the ideal world, we'd want to extend our whole-time stations, but we've got what we've got budgetary-wise, and we've got to make sure we provide that service, and we are really grateful for the On-Call for that professional service that they provide.
I think it's incredible, and I do think that when we talk about diversity and stuff like that, we think so often about race, religion, personal background, stuff like that, but the diversity of skill sets, when you've got such a big on-call, retained volunteer, however people term it, part of your service, they add so much more into the mix because they often are professional in another aspect of life as well.
Absolutely, and they bring that to the job role.
100%.
We know that from our experience while serving, is sometimes you turn up at operational instance, you have operational discretion, you've got to really think outside the box, and that's really key, that someone will turn and say, have we considered X? And that's what we do to resolve the incident safely.
Dom,
Yeah.
how we feeling, mate? Go in, we're nearly there, brother. It's looking good.
Yeah, we're a bit excited now. It's
not even raining.
I know. Well, it stopped.
Give it up on us, mate.
Yeah.
I was when I was like a few days before, it was like 98% chance of rain or something like that.
Yeah.
65% this morning, and we're here, and it's not even raining.
It's Wales, isn't it?
That's it, baby.
You come with a chance of rain no matter what time of the year you turn up.
Mate, people say about Welsh rugby and Welsh athletes, why they're so strong, why they're so tough, and why they're so resilient. It's this. This
it
is
is.
the weather.
Yeah.
It's the training ground. And that's what I love so much about this. People, how many people think we're going to get shown up? Well, like, we're only going to get the diehards.
Yeah.
We're going to get the diehards.
We're getting the serious ones.
And that's what we want. We don't want the dregs. We don't want the people that aren't really interested. We want the people that are going to absolutely go for it. There's some beasts here this morning. How are you feeling about the course, mate?
Good. Yeah, it's all set up. It's looking good, and we'll have a good race, hopefully.
Yeah. Let's walk it together. We've just been having a look at it with Kev Ruan, the legend that is, the godfather of British Firefighter Challenge, travelled the world and brought all of his knowledge to the stadium here today. So we were just talking it through because it's here, it's looking good. So we are going to start. What we're doing, kick us off, talk us through.
We start behind the white line.
Yep.
We'll run the 50 metres to pick up the flaked hose. Once we've got the flaked hose, we're going to sprint back.
So we've got a flaked hose at the top, and when we say flaked, it's almost double back on itself. So people think of like a high-rise pack.
High-rise pack, yeah.
So when people are seeing people do the Americans and the Firefit Challenge and all that sort of stuff, we've got duct taped up, length of 64. Is it one length or two lengths? Sorry?
One length to 70.
One length 70, sorry.
Yeah.
But one length of 70, so people will know they've got the 52s and 64s. We've got the 70 mil hose, double wrap with some gaffer tape. So they're going to sprint down. This is 25 metres down. Pick it up.
50
metres down.
Pick it up.
Pick it up.
Run back with it.
Does it matter how they hold it? Are they going to go over the shoulders? Are they going to go anywhere? Or
However they feel.
So going to be full fire kit and BA set as well
full
for
fire
this,
kit,
yeah?
BAs, structural fire kit, gloves, boots, and lid as well.
What's our thoughts on gloves? How tight are we going to get? Because this is where people start trying to get clever.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people knocking about with RTC gloves just for the setup. We're going to give a little bit of a double check before we start, do we think?
We give a check on an all fire kit before we start.
Absolutely.
Got to be fair for all, hasn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Simple as that.
So we've done that 50 metre there, pack on the shoulder or carrying it, 50 metres back.
50 metres back, yeah.
We hit this line at the back. What we're doing next?
We drop the flake toes there.
Okay.
And then we've got the RTC equipment load, which is a set of cutters and a set of hydraulic spreaders from Lucas.
So these are Clan Lucas, but for anybody that's unfamiliar, they can go and have a look at some of the photos on the Instagram or something like that. But these are the slightly bigger ones. So these people might consider these on the HRU, on the heavy rescue units. So these aren't the smaller hydraulics like you would have on a standard pump rescue ladder. These are the big HRU ones. So we've got a set of cutters and a set of spreaders.
We do actually carry these on all frontline appliances in Mid and West.
Oh, do you really? Are these standard now? Because I know in some inner city ones, as like some of our services, we've got these. We've also got on some of our more rural ones. We've actually just got the smaller sets.
Yeah, no, these are the sets that we have on all frontline appliances with us.
Okay. Are these ones operational? Because I'm worried about how fast and loose. But people might be forgiven because they're like, oh, well, I just dropped it, slipped out of my hands. But also, I've got a horrible vision of someone jamming a set of cutters into the back of one of these beautiful lights on the back of one of our 4x4s. Well, hopefully it's not going to happen. But this is where we really need people to switch on.
Yeah, this is
They've
where
gone hell for leather with the run.
Yeah.
And then they're going one set at a time, or can they pick them both up? One set at a time, two hands on it.
Yeah.
Onto the back of the 4x4.
Don't drop it and don't hit the vehicles.
Okay.
Is the plan.
As soon as they've done that, where are they heading?
Onto the Cohaven.
So they're going to turn left about 5 feet. A quick transition, left foot, right foot, straight on to the top of the Cohaven.
Strike the weight back completely to the end where the referee will tell you stop.
Cool.
You've got to put the hammer back on the mat.
Yeah, so they're going to drop the hammer off to the right hand side and then
pick up the branch.
Grab all the branch over the shoulder. And away we go. And this is down for another 50 metre sprint.
Yeah. down.
This is when it starts to speed up a lot.
Yeah.
There's, after they've done the delicate bits with the RTC kit and stuff like that, this is now all go.
Yeah, it's flat out now.
So they're sprinting down, branch, locked out arm over the shoulder, driving the body, leaning the shoulder through.
Yeah.
They're dropping that all the way at the end. We've got a little bit marked out where the branch needs to go over, or a bit
Just
of
the branch needs to be over the line.
And they're going to turn and go. All the way back to start again. So that's another 50 metres. Jesus, there's a lot of running in this, Tom.
A bit of cardio in
Told you, man. I'm 18.5 stone. Come on, let's try and play a little bit clever. I thought I'd come down because you give me a chance. There's some little lads here who are going to sprint this the whole goddamn way. So we're coming back for the hose makeup after that, right?
Yeah, hose makeup, a 70 mil hose.
Yep.
Makeup all the way along.
Magic.
As soon as you finish the hose makeup, pick it up, put it in the box. It's got to fit in the box.
So we've got the boxes from the BFC. When you did your demo video the other week, I know some people got excited because it looked like we had a nice big tray to throw it into, but actually we've got the narrow boxes.
We've got the official boxes.
The official boxes. It's all got to go in the box.
In the box.
Nothing spilling out the side.
Nothing spilling out the side.
Okay. And then we go in BFC barrels.
Yep.
So 2 20-kilo barrels.
2 at a time.
Can you run with them?
Yes, if you want to.
Okay, cool.
If you've got breath by that time.
As quick as you can. We'll have 2 barrels down, turn and go, 2 barrels again.
Yeah, got to be in the tray, got to be standing up.
And that tray's pretty much at the same spot. It's down there at that 50-metre run, isn't it? And then it's the final turn and going.
Yeah, it's everyone's favourite, the dummy drag now.
Love it. So we're heading down. How heavy is dummy?
70 kilo. Dummy.
Beautiful. So that is a good 11.5 stone we're looking at there.
Got it to be realistic.
Yeah, baby. 100%.
Got to do it.
Is there any regulations on how high you have to lift it or anything like that?
Nothing at all, just as long as you've got hold of the dummy instead of the straps.
No straps, no handles, no back of the neck.
No. You can use the...
Ruth Lee complimentaries again. Ruth Lee have been bringing them out for us. That's good of them.
Yeah, you can flip them over in terms of bend them over with the straps, using the straps. But once you actually start dragging them, it's got to be the full weight of the dummy, you carrying it rather than the straps.
Beautiful. And then we're going. So it's 50 metres all the way to the finish, whatever you've got in the tank. And we have got the crash mats with us.
Yes.
So for this one, because we're in a car park, we want people to go all the way to the end. Rather than trying to glance over their shoulder, we're expecting everybody to hit the mats.
Yeah,
so it's going to be holding the dummy. As soon as you hit the mat, holding the dummy, time stops.
That is it.
Wicked.
And that's the race. Fastest time wins.
Kev, your dream has now reached the far shores of Wales. This energy that started. How long ago did you put the BFC together now? I know you and many others, but...
The first British Firefighters Challenge was in 2016 in Nottingham. We were considering having our own competition long before that, but it was just finding the right venue and getting things together.
Yeah.
And Nottingham offered us that at the Jubilee University site with the twin staircase that they had to bang opposite a car park. So that's how it happened.
It amazes me that people are still hearing about it for the first time, because that was 6 years ago. And every time now, I mean, we were driving down, we stopped in at a few fire stations and they see the BFC t-shirt from 2021 and they're like, what's the Firefighter Challenge? And it's still, I always say, in leadership in organisations, they say, by the time you've got bored of listening to yourself pass the message is probably about the time the message is probably going to sink in. So we've now reached the Welsh shores. What's it been like putting this together when the first call came out from Dom and that to sort of say we want to do our own thing?
Well, Dominic really wanted to do this a couple of years back. He approached me about this in Watford, which was about 3-4 years ago now. And he's always wanted to do it. He's had the ambition to do it, but obviously COVID-19 had an impact in that. But it's really nice. It's seen that it's developing. It's moving into something. This is it is a sport for itself. I don't care what some people say. It's not a sport. It is a sport based around 100%. Firefighting skills, and I think it's an important part. It ties in line with what the fire service do. It develops people's physical ability as well as their skills with their equipment, and I think it should grow. We should have one in Scotland too.
100%. Now, Mark, you have been sort of the first one to, not the first one, but we spoke about Dom back in 2017 or whatever, wanting to see this one come to fruition. You guys and girls were the first ones to go, you know what, we're going to go next, and we started off the Cheshire. What lessons did you learn from putting the Cheshire together? Because you're sort of here, you and Kev sort of mentor and helping, along with Chris Trendowich, helping this one find its feet as well. What challenges did you face, and how do you think this is looking by comparison?
I think we started off pretty much the same as the British did. We followed the same format. We did the thing that I would recommend everybody do if they want to put on an event, which is contact the British lads. Wealth of experience, and they're always more than happy to help. So we found a venue that was very similar to the first venue that the British used. It was a university campus, it had external staircases, keeps the costs down. And for me, that's the big deal with this, is finding a good venue for your first one that you can run on a shoestring realistically. So you've not got to charge people over the odds, and they'll come and they'll take part. And that's the great thing about this as well, you know, to go off what Kev was saying there, the kind of people that we attract to this sport.
Yeah.
They're all very like-minded, and nobody turns up and just does the run and goes home.
No,
People
I mean, this
stay
morning
around,
everyone's
they'll
been
help.
mucking in.
Yeah,
they were here a couple
and that's
hours
great.
early. It's a hell of a venue as well. I mean, Park the Scarlets. You know, we've got this beg, borrow and steal aspect from the mindset, and there's kind of a double-edged sword there as well, because we do so much stuff for the communities. When on the very, very rare occasion we ask for something back or we ask for a favour from the communities, it's great to see so many people. We've got fairground rides here. You know, we've got a beautiful big stadium. There's a lot of people showing up early to get involved.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So yeah, we're looking forward to a good day, and we just hope the weather holds off for us. But we shall live in hope.
Looking at your sort of age group, I was speaking to Dom. There's a beast that's emerged from the Welsh underlings. You know, this gentleman, I forget his name, but he's got a 17 point something on the bleep test, and he's an absolute beast. Have you met him yet?
No, I'll be watching out for that though.
That is going to be a dangerous one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I say to people about this sort of idea of a narrowing path when you're young and like 20s. No one's impressed with the 20-year-old that's fit, because everyone's fit when they're 20s. You know what I mean? But as you start to get in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, it's like climbing up a mountain.
Yeah.
At the bottom, you can fumble about on the path. You can drink whatever you want. You can eat whatever you want, and you're still going to make progress. But the real winners, people like yourself, people like Kev, people that can still actually move and run and gun and actually take part in it.
Yeah.
How have you managed to sort of keep yourself accountable? And, you know, I see you even making the videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's hard, and, you know, you've got to fight against the things you want to do with your life, people asking you not to bother, you know, people ridiculing. How do you stay in shape? How do you keep yourself doing it?
Well, I'm surrounded by youth as well. That's the key. I'm surrounded
You've
by
chosen to
younger
put yourself
people.
around it, though.
Well,
that's the thing.
It's a life choice, isn't it? Yeah. But I mean, the thing for me, the challenge for me, even though I've retired last year and I've come back part-time, it's about still proving to myself that I can do the job.
Yeah.
On that moment where I'm needed to do the thing that we get paid to do, I can do it. You know. And one of the things that came out of the Cheshire Virtual Challenge this year, when you talk about age groups, the biggest growth in age groups or bandings is, firstly, it was females. A third of the field was female competitors. And then after that, it's the veterans, and the 45 to 40s are the biggest groups.
Yeah.
You know, convincing the youngsters to try and get involved with this is a struggle at times, because they've got their own things going on. They're involved in other sports. The older generation seem to be committed to this. It's a good sport.
You mentioned about with convincing the young people. I've just literally this morning been discussing it with the British Challenge. Half the battle that we have is a lot of the youngsters these days have a different mindset. They only want to take part if they think they're going to win. But the likelihood of that happening, based against the amount of experience on the course, is unlikely. So what I've decided to do for the British Firefighters Challenge is create fastest newcomers for male and female award. Have a trophy for fastest newcomer. Yeah. Have their name, their brigade, and what year they were the fastest newcomer. A nice banner and an individual trophy for them. So that's my contribution.
Is a great shout.
Yeah.
Because for people that have done the course 5 or 6 times, it's not really the same, because you don't have to go. You're still nervous, and you're like, I'm nervous. Like standing here today, I'm a little bit nervous doing it. But the first time out is always like, you don't know what the kit's like. Your adrenaline's through the roof. You're so charged that you make silly mistakes because the fumble's there, and you try and pick up the dummy twice, and you're just absolutely running off adrenaline.
And it gives everybody who's the first timer an opportunity to come on with something.
Yeah.
And that's I think that'll be a big thing for people.
Yeah, absolutely love it. So from your experience with all the courses, Kev, there's a bit more running involved in this one. What do you think, from everything you've seen, and you travel the world seeing different competitions, what would be your advice to somebody doing this course today?
Pace yourself.
Okay.
There's a lot of running.
There's a lot of running. For me, there's a lot of running.
This course, it is a long course. Pace yourself and save something for that dummy at the end.
This is a heavy dummy.
It is. It's a 70 kilo dummy, that one.
It's a wet 70 kilo dummy.
It's been out in the race.
It's a very wet 70 kilo dummy.
I think if they pace themselves and save something for that dummy, because that's where people will be tired when they get to there. If you've got something left in the tank, you'll finish the course and you finish it okay.
How many chunks do you think are going to be taken out of the 4x4s?
I think whoever's responsible for those vehicles might not be driving them back to station with a smile on their face.
Absolutely. When they're filling out, they go, yeah, that scratch was there before we came. Yeah, it was there.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Awesome. Thanks, fellas. Have a great day.
No worries.
My name is Roger Thomas. I'm Chief Fire Officer of Mid and West Wales Fire and Rescue Service.
Rog, we are here at the first ever Welsh Firefighter Challenge. How did this come to fruition? Why the heck are you here? Why is it important to you? Why do you think we should be doing it?
Well, it's really important. It's the brainchild really of Dominic Norcross and his colleagues. I think it's really important. We put Wales on the map, we bring Mid and West on the map, and we get this sort of event which traditionally we've travelled to and we've sent people to around the UK, but it's really fantastic to bring it here today.
I look at Wales and I think historically it kind of builds these real savages of like health and fitness from the rugby teams and all that. I don't know if it's something to do with the water, with the weather. There's something that builds resilience in Welsh people and Welsh firefighters. That's why I'm really excited to see people compete today. What do you think it is about this sort of environment or the culture here that makes people so resilient?
Yeah, I think very community focused, coming from sort of heavy industry, mining communities, goes back to sort of rugby traditions, but now our football team's doing well.
They are doing really strong, aren't they?
If they succeed today, now they'll be going to the World Cup, which is a fantastic achievement.
You've got a bunch of recruits and cadets here and stuff. We're seeing across the whole UK Fire and Rescue Service a real massive sort of transition in skill sets and experiences. Lots of people are coming up to their 25, 30 years retirement. That's why now we're on like crest of a wave. I want people to hear and see all this experience that people have, get involved in things like this. Why is it important for you to be sort of nurturing all the experience you have and trying to put it into the new people? Because we've got a lot of new recruits here today.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And a number of our cadets, young firefighters have come through and actually come into the whole-time service, which is fantastic. We're a largely retained service, so we've got over 700 retained firefighters.
Yeah.
So we depend, again, it goes back to that community spirit.
It is a massive aspect of community, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I did on-call for about 10 years, and I was speaking to one of your deps, or one of the division officers, saying that it's 60 or 70% are on-call in your service, which really means that they bring so much of their other professions, their community feel, and it's really representative, I suppose, the people that they actually represent, in
absolutely, and they'll generally, if they go to incidents in their own community, they'll know people, they'll be, maybe being related to individuals, so they feel as if they're really giving something back to their community. And let's be honest, it's not for the money. We know they're doing it for the community spirit.
You came into your post April, was it?
Yeah, I've been in 2 months, just over 2 months.
2 months. When did you first start when you first joined the fire service?
I joined in 1996.
96.
So back when Mid and West Wales was formed, there were 8 fire brigades within Wales at the time. We came down to 3, and I was on the first course of the Mid and West Wales, a new fire.
Why did you want to join?
Just to be part of things like this, to be honest. You've just giving something to the community, being a public servant, and doing things, active things, a balance of that. I've got to say, as I've moved up in the role, those things have started dropped off a little bit. But to see these type of things we've got going on today is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. What are the biggest challenges that Welsh Fire Service are facing these days?
Well, like all public services, it's tight in terms of money. We've found austerity. We've found a lot of experience. You mentioned it, Pete, in terms of people leaving the job.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of people going out of the job. So we've got to try and keep those standards up. We know that we're the most trusted public service in the UK. People look up to us. We know that people value what we do. We can get into people's homes, we can change attitudes, which we've seen over the last 15, 20 years. Our prevention work is unparalleled across the public sector. So we do a lot of prevention work. We do a lot of obviously fitness testing, biannual fitness testing for individuals, but also we do a lot of proactive work for mental health support as well. And I think COVID has accelerated a lot of that. It's put a lot of pressure on people.
Yeah.
We need to support our workforce, because a fit and healthy workforce is an efficient and effective one as well.
Well, it's pouring down with rain, and we've got 3 officers that are supporting it, so it's clear that you do that. Thank you for your time, brother.
Thanks for what you need. Cheers. Take care.
This podcast episode was brought to you by our good friends over at William Wood Watches. Now, I know I've had my William Wood watch for years now, but they've really been doing something cool this June. They've actually headed over to the States. They've launched a few watches over there now. And I'm really excited to announce that on the 9th of June, they are releasing to the market 250 beautiful limited edition pieces of the Bravest watch. This is a piece that's been done between the FDNY Foundation and William Wood Watches. Now, 15% of every single watch will be going to the FDNY Foundation. And check this out, from the 9th of June at the FDNY Fire Zone store at the Rockefeller Center, they are going to be displaying one of their William Wood watches. Now, as you will of course know, each of the William Wood watches contains a piece of British firefighting history, and they've got such an amazing choice of watches. If you go over there now and take a look, you'll see the Valiant watch, the Bronze, the Chivalrous, the Triumph, which is my personal favorite. They've got the Jubilee Special one, which is the purple one you heard us speak about before on the podcast, and now they have got those 250 Bravest watch designs. But again, I'm just going to say personally, my favorite is the Triumph collection. If you go over and have a look at the Triumph, the reason it's my my favorite probably, because if you go over and look at it, it's the fire alarm case back. Like, you know, when you see those fire alarm cases on the brake glass to open, well, they've actually done that on the back of the watch. If you go over to williamwatches.com and have a look, what they've got is a glass partition on the back of it where it says literally across it, in case of fire, brake glass. And then behind that, they've got the internal workings of the watch. This is a really weighty piece as well. Most of the time I wear my Valiant collection with the red strap. You can pick one of those up for about £800. And again, every single purchase of a William Wood watch, you are committing to a charity. It could be the Firefighters charity, it could be the Tunnel to Towers, it could be the Bush Fire Relief Fund, it could be the London Fire Brigade, it could be the London Fire Brigade Boxing Club. So look, if you want a piece of firefighting history on your wrist, go over and check them out. That's williamwoodwatches.com. The Firefighters Podcast is a global podcast seeking to develop, inspire, and motivate the world of the emergency services operators. Through a series of wide-ranging conversations celebrating those within our sector, we seek to encourage and support this incredible group of people. It's brought to you by myself, operational firefighter Pete Wakefield, and I speak with individuals from all walks of life who I sincerely believe can add value to or develop those who have chosen this life path. Please support your emergency services wherever you are in the world, and thank you for listening.